Hi guys, I'm Noah. I'm an education studies major and I work at Tech and Trek. And I wanted to show an example of what an ePortfolio can look like when you customize it and talk about the benefits of putting some time into it. So, ePortfolios in general are effective tools because they encourage reflective thinking, social learning, and integrative learning. And we'll go more in depth about these concepts in a later video. But the Myself section, which is this page here, uh, is about storytelling, which encourages self reflection when you tell your own story and social learning when other students come visit your page to learn more about you. Now, I believe that storytelling is very important because stories can bring people together. A good story contains universal themes and feelings that everyone can relate to, even if people's life circumstances seem very different on the surface. So there's three different sections on this page: the About Me section, the My Goals section, and Why Hiram. And when you are editing the content of these text boxes, which you can do just by hitting this little settings button here, you can change the appearance of them. You can change the font size, the font type, the color, the location, the background color of the text box. So that's all of these options that you have here. And I'll talk later in this video about how to upload different types of media. So the first section is the About Me section. You talk about where you come from, what do you do, what makes you who you are. Basically, anything that you would want someone who's visiting your ePortfolio to know about you. So I talked about Hiram being my hometown, my time in the Air Force. I lived on Guam for 2 years, my summer job at Camp High, and my hobbies including photography, hiking, music, and basketball. The next section is the My Goals section. So that's what you want to achieve during your time at Hiram. And these goals can be academic, personal, or professional. So I talked about how I've always struggled to stay engaged in school, which I think is something that a lot of students can relate to. But during my time at Hiram, it's been less of an issue for me because I feel like I've really benefited from the freedom to pursue my own interests, take classes that encourage creative expression, and then practicing self reflection about my educational experiences. So I want to use my degree in education studies to help students experience this same growth by finding what works for them as individuals, because not everyone learns the same way. People all have different strengths, and I think it's important for people to be able to tailor their education to what works for them. So the next section down here is the Why Hiram section. And Hiram is a small, unique school, and everyone has their own reasons for being here. So my Why Hiram section is really long just because I feel like my journey to get here has been kind of a long story, but yours does not have to be this long. But I talked about how basically when I graduated high school, I wanted to go to school in California. Like I just wanted to get out of Ohio, and just the journey that I took from living all the way on Guam, so far from home, and then just slowly making my way back closer and closer here to my hometown, and how I ended up going to school here, which is not what I expected, but it's worked out really well for me. So you'll be able to tell your story here as well. You can also include anything on your ePortfolio that you feel expresses yourself, your personality, or your values. And like I said, you can customize the way it looks, including background images, font type and color, and the placement of various types of media. So I included a quote from a photographer who we learned about in the photography class that I took in the spring. He was actually a friend of my professor, but we watched a video about him, and some of the stuff that he said about his work really resonated with me. So I just included a quote from him here, along with some of my favorite pictures that I took during that class and some pictures that I took afterwards, because photography turned into a hobby for me that continued on after this class. So a couple of these are from a fashion and product photography shoot that I did at the Gelbke building, which is the arts building. This one here is from a hiking trip that I took in Arizona. Uh, these two are of an abandoned building that's near my apartment in Shalersville, and then I included a picture of my mom and niece from a family trip to the beach in South Carolina. So you can include anything on your ePortfolio. I would encourage you to, just customize it and try to make it an expression of yourself. Now I'll show you guys how to upload media to your ePortfolio. So my myself page is pretty much done for now. So I'm going to upload an essay that I wrote for my first year urgent questions class. You can also upload pictures, audio, and embed videos to your page. So the urgent questions class is right here underneath the urgent challenges category. And I've already written a blog post to go along with this essay just to give some information about the class and the paper. This gives the reader a little bit of context rather than just uploading an essay directly with no other information. So the class was called How Does Tech Affect Culture? And the essay was about comparing and contrasting our mindful use to modern technology here at Hiram with the limited use of modern conveniences in nearby Amish communities. So in order to upload media, you will hit this plus button at the bottom of the page, and then you'll have all these options up here about the different kinds of media that you could upload. So I'm going to upload a document and then click Upload File. Hit the plus sign over Select Files to upload. Hit Browse, and then my essay is right here. I'll hit Upload. And there it is. Now the essay is on this page. You can scroll through it. You can read it if you want to. Like I said, the blog post gives some context there. And then after you upload your media, just make sure to hit Publish Changes so that your changes are saved. And when you guys make your own ePortfolio, I'd encourage you just to get creative and include unique content that helps you express yourself, because you have a lot of options about the different types of media that you can upload here. This is like anything else, you get out of it what you put into it. So I've put more time into my ePortfolio this summer during this internship at Tech and Trek than I ever have before. And I feel like through this practice of self-reflection, I have actually gained some insight into what's important to me in terms of my educational goals moving forward. So if you have any questions, you can visit the Tech and Trek office on the first floor of the library or email us at techandtrek@hiram.edu. Thanks for watching.